Hey everyone, I'm Charting Man Dan at The Chart Guys. I've been trading the last 13 plus years. We are going to check in on the broader market in this video, as well as a bunch of individual names. Tesla swing trade from last week following through in a big way. I entered a crypto stock in the first 13 seconds of trading today. And we've also got the drama to follow along with GME Roaring Kitty now disclosing his position in CHWI. Lots to dive into. Let's go. Before we get to the charts, two things. Number one, of course, giveaway is ending today. There's a link in the comments of this video. Just enter your email and you're entered to win a free course. Number two, I'm doing a webinar, free webinar tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, talking about how psychedelics and cannabis has made me a better trader. I get asked about this all the time. It's time we talk about it. So we ended the quarter last week where we had a double top on the futures charts for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and a sell-off all day. There was repositioning going on, rebalancing in the Russell 2000, and we tested that daily support of our uptrend and held it at least initially. So here's SPY. The daily higher low was 542.44. We held that level by literally 8 pennies. So very clearly, that's our short-term line in the sand, and we could say the bulls have absolute complete control if that level is maintained. If we lose that level, we're going to zoom out to the weekly chart, and we're then going to be watching weekly EMA 12, which we didn't even test, but bounced right above the last time around. So I've got my short-term level. If it breaks, I zoom out. If it doesn't break, no need to zoom out. The bulls keep full control. NASDAQ, same deal, except more space above daily support. We've got that level at 473.82, trying to hold that level again. If you look at the futures charts, you're going to have a nice daily equilibrium where we've got the all-time high, daily higher low, double top, and now another higher low. So just tightening sideways. Bulls will take sideways consolidation every time, considering we're coming from a melt up over the last 8 months, and sideways consolidation is exactly what bulls want to see. So keeping an eye on that short-term support. And again, simple statement. If 473.82 is support, the bulls have complete control. The burden is on bears to show us that something is changing. I still see so many people trying to nail the top. I get it. We're extended, fundamental reasons, whatever. But we will see the bears showing up. They are not sneaky. They will come, if it's going to be meaningful, they will come with big bear volume. We will see XLF, QQQ, XLV all hitting the low of the day at the same time and following through. And we're just not seeing that yet. What we're seeing is semiconductors pulling back, and while that's happening, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, all new all-time highs. Apple's now 1.5% away from all-time highs. So we're seeing that money rotating back into big tech. We saw it a little bit into XLF, a little bit into IWM, not very meaningful in those sectors. Tesla obviously getting rotation. Waited for this one for a long time. And this beautiful equilibrium. To head into last week, we could easily say, volatility is coming to Tesla. We're going to break this range one way or the other, and we broke it bull. Grabbed a long position on Wednesday, first thing. Talked about that on Twitter. Not going to dig up that trade at the moment, but I've been scaling out now. My target was 200 plus, so I scaled out some on Friday, and I scaled out a bit more today. And depending on the deliveries reaction, likely coming out tomorrow pre-market, if we were to gap up open, I will be all out of this swing, and I will look to reload next daily consolidation. The 3-month higher low is set. That was the premise of the trade. I stopped out break even 3 times in this sideways chop range, and then finally got the winner with the momentum behind it. This 3-month chart is my top watch for 2025. We are going to break this. I'm anticipating a lower high compared to 300. We will break this sometime in the next, I expect we could easily, shape up another 6 months within this range. But when it breaks, we will be looking for long-term follow-through in that direction. So keep an eye on the Tesla 3-month chart. This pattern is 4+ years in the making. Semiconductors, similar to SPY, held daily support. So bears tried to confirm the daily downtrend. The daily support was 255.73. We held it. Well, we broke it by 7 pennies, but certainly can consider that a double bottom. And now we're tightening up a bit. I've been in a pair trade of short NVDA, long Tesla since last Thursday. Again, talking about that on Twitter. And that's been a great trade. We had a lot of weakness in NVDA first thing this morning. But again, we held its support in a very meaningful way. 118 was that low, on the verge of confirming the daily downtrend, and the bulls showed up. So at this point, taking enough profit where I'll just set my stop and I'll exit my short if the bulls break that resistance level in the 128s, and it will still be a small green trade. But watching this tightening range, because this is likely going to dictate the week in large part. It's a holiday week. We're done trading at 1 p.m. on Wednesday, no trading Thursday. So how these tightening daily ranges on SPY, QQQ, and semiconductors, how they break is going to have significant implications for July. Fun fact, July has been green 16 Julys in a row. That's insanity. I had not placed my first trade. I was a freshman in college the last time we had a red 2006 or a red July. And even then it was minus 0.15% that year. So doesn't mean we can't go red, but that data also helped me back in October. The data in QQQ was we closed the year higher than the low in October, something like 80 whatever percent in the last decade plus. That helped me look long in October, and that followed through with the melt up. So semiconductors still hanging on. They've been a bit weak. There has been a bit of rotating going on, but they're still holding on just fine. And we're going to be looking for, I said my ideal scenario was I wanted to see NVDA confirm a daily downtrend with no follow through for me to exit the short and then be scouting along for a weekly higher low. Don't know if we'll get that or not, but we're certainly looking for a weekly higher low wherever it forms and watching to see if that's already shaping up. If it is, it's a bull flag. And the probabilities will shift a good bit if we can get over 128 for that being a weekly bull flag, but one day at a time for now. Healthcare, big resistance wall, all-time high, double top at all-time high, and now we're struggling just under the all-time high. We failed to break it by less than $1, and then we've rejected today very hard. Look at that big turnaround, strong start, and then an all-out dump. So clearly the bears are defending the only level they have, that wall of resistance. Bigger picture, all the bulls care about is 140.68. If that level holds, we keep the weekly uptrend. So bulls just want to set another weekly higher low to try and stay within striking distance of that resistance. Again, I don't trade these healthcare names often at all. LLY has been an absolute beast, just jaw-dropping. Look at the 3-month chart. We know how that ends. Just be aware, this is going to pull back 40% at some point. But trying to nail the top in a blue sky breakout is extremely difficult. But just be aware, likely sometime within the next year, this thing's going to pull back real hard. But not now. Weekly stair step for months, just beast mode. But I don't trade these names. I just watch it for my analysis of the broader market, knowing that it is one of the most important sectors in the broader market. And so that helps me analyze everything as a whole. XLF. So XLF's going to be key in July as well, because right now we have a tightening daily range, higher low, maybe a lower high forming. How this tightening daily range breaks is going to have significant implications to answering the question, is this a weekly head and shoulders or not? It's absolutely possible. Higher high, higher low, trying for a lower high. If that sideways range breaks bare, the weekly lower high will be set and will then be testing the neckline support down at 40.37. So this is going to be key for the broader market to maintain strength. Bulls definitely don't want to see this pattern confirm with a bear break. But I'll be on the daily first, and then when the tightening daily range breaks, that's when I zoom out and look at the weekly levels. IWM, I've been watching for rotation into IWM. It was right about semiconductors pulling back, was right about Tesla, but have been wrong about IWM so far. The good news is, again, I've got, take a little bit of profit, stick your stop under the low, and I will stop out of swing position, break even if 20 or if 197 breaks. So I always love positioning where if I'm wrong, no big deal, because as we traders know, we are wrong all the time. I was hoping it was going to look similar to this. Weak bounce attempt, gap up, and then go. Weak bounce attempt, gap up, no go. So it is still a daily uptrend, but watch how this weekly tightening range breaks. That's going to have significant implications for the rest of the year, depending on whether that's a bull break or a bear break. But definitely still struggling to do much at this point. So crypto stocks, oftentimes you will get, anytime Bitcoin makes a meaningful technical move on the weekend, big money has to wait for the open to position for that. And you often get a laggard move. And so Bitcoin over the weekend confirmed a little daily uptrend to set a weekly higher low. We knew that was the most likely scenario because it's forming a weekly equilibrium, but it became more confident on Sunday night. So you see it Monday roll around, and my mindset was watch MARA. Why MARA? Because Friday, MARA was clearly standing out stronger than all its peers. And so in the end, CLSK and MARA had pretty much the same day. But look at where we stand here. MARA is on the verge of confirming a weekly uptrend. We tested that resistance at the end of the day and failed to break it. So we're on the verge of hitting, 2-month highs, whereas CLSK is still very much range bound. If CLSK does not break 2064, we're going to keep trading sideways for a while. The focus has been on the lower cap names. Wolf, Breakout, big way. Look at that sideways range breaking bull. SDIG has been performing a bit recently. And HUT had some bullish news, had a big breakout. I don't focus on those names. I only have so much attention watching all these sectors. But CLSK and MARA are the two that I focus on. And today I chose MARA. And again, I talk about, I want an elevator speech, my game plan for the morning. I want to be able to say it in 60 seconds. And this morning it was watching NVDA to break 122 basis support for the bears to try and follow through. Watching Tesla to try and break the high of Friday. Watching MARA for a bullish reaction to what Bitcoin did. And so I was just finger on the buy trigger, show me something. And it took 13 seconds for me to make that entry. And why did I enter after 13 seconds? Because we set a low of the day right away. And then I'm in 13 seconds later, and I know I can then play off 2032 if I want. And then it was just all green from there, take some profit. Still in a little swing position, but definitely took a lot of profit with the size of that candle of today's action. And also the fact that we ended right at resistance, couldn't break it. Just wanted to lock in the majority of that 13% day. CHWI. So we have Roaring Kitty has to file that he now owns 6% plus 9 million shares of CHWI. Now, he posted a picture of a dog on Friday and the price ran up. What he is doing is skirting around market manipulation. And so, you can look, there's a number of things that he could have done. He could have sold GME and then bought this CHWI position. He could have backing from some large money that's giving him a bunch of money. Or he could have, he could have bought weekly, doing it on a Friday. If he bought, weekly CHWI options, post that image, buy $5 million of common share or of options, post that image, and then sell that pump. Next thing you know, you got another $150 million, just like he did with GME. He returned to Twitter with his short-term options, cashed them in, and then had a huge amount of cash to buy common shares. It looks like he probably did the same thing here. Is he going to sell it? I have no idea what, it's all just speculation what his game plan is, but it's possible that we are witnessing the greatest trader of all time if he keeps pulling this off. Yes, he's doing it in a way that some people might not agree with, but his net worth in 4 years going from less than $100,000 to now potentially pushing $400-500 million is absolutely insane. CHWI, we're going to be watching for a weekly higher low with a lot of space for it to form. GME, we're watching for a weekly higher low, anything above 1770. I may be interested in the swing position here. I need to wait for a level where I can say that's either the weekly higher low or I'm wrong, and then use that level as a stop. Bear reaction to the fact that he's in CHWI, as some people assume maybe he did some selling, but I am keeping an eye out for a weekly higher low entry on GME. All that said, it's going to be very headline sensitive. Obviously, if it ever came out that he sold all his GME, GME is going to dump in a big way. I have no idea, but all I do know is it's extremely entertaining from the outside, and I just day trade these names in a volatile way. I nailed the CHWI top, shorted at 38, did not hold it long enough. You give me 7% win in 90 seconds. I locked it in, 38 to 35, something like that. But he is giving traders opportunity. We can say that much. The dollar still maintaining a daily uptrend. Tried to break bear today, but again, just follow these higher lows. Every single move on the daily is maintaining higher lows at this point. Held support just barely. Have to see those higher lows break if we're going to set a weekly lower high and then tighten up. And again, if you're long stocks have not needed dollar weakness, obviously, but if you're long stocks, metals, crypto, you do want to see the dollar set this weekly lower high. Gold, clinging on to short-term support. We're trading sideways here. Trying to hold weekly EMA 12 to fend off monthly consolidation. You can make the argument it's a head and shoulders. We've got silver trying to fend off monthly consolidation by holding support here. But have to see the dollar roll over if we're going to have any confidence that weekly EMA 12 can keep holding on these metals. Miners sideways. Oil all bull, monthly higher low is set, and we're heading back to monthly resistance. If we fail 86.24, lots of space for the weekly higher low. I would be surprised if we can break it on a straight shot. I do think we need weekly consolidation first, but there's no sign of it as we are up at the high. But again, if I'm a bear, I want to get as extended as possible into resistance if I'm going to make a play off this resistance zone. And we can see the last time we pulled back, daily RSI above 70, starting to get there as we head towards resistance. Natural gas tried to confirm the first weekly uptrend in over a year. Double top, big fail, fading back down to the low. Bulls will not go anywhere unless we can confirm a weekly uptrend. In the end, it's just another monthly lower high, rejecting from EMA 12. So no sign of the natural gas bulls getting any kind of follow through at this point. There's a lot going on. Holiday week, expecting things to slow down, but nice volatility in Tesla. There's still trading opportunity, especially these crypto stocks. All right, see you in the webinar tomorrow. Make sure and do good things. Rhubarb, 2 different kinds of mint, blackberries, wineberries, raspberries, all from the garden. Make some water tea.